call to order our Scott County School Board's February regular meeting. And we're going to stand and have a moment of silence first. All right, I reckon we have some special guests here tonight. I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Taylor, Ms. Madukas, whoever, which one wants to bring them up and come up first, share their names.
I just want to say this is the most creative thing I've seen. Yes, sir.
That was enjoyment. That was something different. Been on here several years. I've never seen nothing like that. So I really appreciate that. And I'm sure the rest of the board does as well. All right, our next item on the agenda is items to add to the agenda and / approval of agenda. Anybody got any more things to put on the agenda? Need to add?
At some point, I would like to discuss the information regarding missed days and those emergency declarations, end of year things, just kind of briefly, so we can let people know somewhat of how to expect the year to go from here on out. And that can be done at this time. It can be added during the superintendent's report and so forth. But just something to kind of address that at this time. I think there's a lot of questions in the community about, the days missed and so forth, so.
You got a little force, you want me to add it? Yeah. All right, I'll put this as item number, we'll put it as F under superintendent report. Yes. Just put, what would they call it? Explanation of remaining days or?
Something.
School calendar.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
School calendar.
Okay. All right, like I said, we're going to add F to the superintendent report under 7, school calendar update, and Mr. Ferguson will. So we'll add that as F on number 7. Anybody else got anything else?
Make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from Mr. Sally? Got a second from Mr. Hood, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of minutes. We had our regular meeting in January 7th, and actually an organization meeting. Y'all had time to look over the minutes. Got any questions? No one has a question? I need a motion for approval.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion from Ms. Edwards?
I'll second.
Got a second from Mr. Meade. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, approval of claims. We was out quite a few days in January. We still had bills rolling in. If y'all got any particular question on any item, have more description on it.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion from Mr. Sally? Got a second from Mr. Hood. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. All right, public comment. Does anyone wish to address the board at this time? We love these meetings like this. We're doing something, maybe right. So, all right, we're going to switch things up. We're going to hand it over to Mr. Ferguson for the superintendent.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, February is the designated month to recognize our school board members. This is my 14th celebration of such an event. And I'm very proud to be able to serve Scott County Schools, and more especially, very proud of what each of you contribute for our students and to our schools. We have a small token of appreciation here with a certificate. It just reads 2025 Virginia School Board Association School Board Appreciation Month, Champions of Opportunity, Advocates for Excellence. And it is signed by the Virginia School Board Association President, who is Dr. Jawanda Rollins-Fales, and the Virginia School Board Association Executive Director, Gina Patterson. At this time, I'd like to present these certificates to Mr. David Templeton, our chairman,
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
Our Vice Chairman, Mr. Allen. Thank you. Mr. Daniel Meade. Mr. Housewright is not with us tonight. Please, his health isn't too well, so please keep him in your thoughts. We have Mr. Tricia Edwards. And Mr. Robin Hood. Thank you. Thank you. If you would, join me in giving our board members a round of applause, please. Now, we can't forget about the two ladies over here to my right. The week of February 17th to the 21st, 2025, is our school board clerk appreciation week. Into there, it makes mention in appreciation of your dedication and hard work for public education through continued service to the students of the Commonwealth. Again, signed by Dr. Jowanda Rollins-Fales, the Virginia School Board Association President, and Gina Patterson, the Executive Director. At this time, I'd like to present this certificate to our clerk, Ms. Sherry Carter, Christian. And to our deputy clerk, I'm trying to get this one right this time. I apologize, Sherry. Ms. Megan Gilmore. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, if y'all don't mind, we'll just go on.
Yeah.
Keep moving right on through here.
Yes, sir.
The last month's meeting, you were introduced to and had, I think, some discussion in regards to the 6-year plan for Scott County Public Schools. The recommendation of the changes, suggested changes were made at the previous meeting and are included in this document. Unless there's any particular questions or additions with the comprehensive plan that has been presented to you, I would ask your approval, unless, of course, changes are to be made.
I'll make a motion for the approval of the new 6-year comprehensive plan.
Second.
Got a motion for me, got a second for Mr. Sally, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item we have is the Head Start's December financial report. This is a preliminary report. Unless there's any questions in regards to this document, I ask your approval as presented.
Got a motion for Mr. Meade. Got a second for Mr. Hood, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item we have is the Head Start Director's Report, and this is for informational purposes for January 2025. Does anyone have any questions in regards to this document? Hearing none, we'll move right on to the school calendar update. This has been a year in terms of weather. Back in September, as well as the first full week, and extending even into the Monday of October the 7th, we went on a 2-hour delay. Due to the effects or after effects of Hurricane Helene, we did miss 7 days of school. And as I said, on October 7th, we went on a 2-hour delay. And I shared with you at our November meeting the letter that was sent to request a waiver of those days and the number of instructional hours, which was signed off by the state superintendent. So those days essentially are wiped away from our calendar in its entirety. But since then, due to ice, snow, we have missed several days. We have utilized our allotted 10 inclement weather days. If you watch when school divisions decide to close or use the inclement weather days, we took the advantage of those. We utilized them first. Where other school divisions, for whatever reason, decided to close, we utilized ours in order to preserve what we had left of our school calendar, to try to keep it intact as much as possible. As we began to exhaust those days, and if you notice what other divisions are doing now, they started missing so many days. What have they started to utilize more and more of? The inclement weather days. So we did this out front, whereas other divisions are kind of doing it on the back burner at this time. Even with that, we have missed a total of 7 days in which the schools were closed. Now, folks worry about spring break and things of that nature. At this point in time, with 7 days missed, it has not affected spring break at this time. That's not to say that it can't, because next week's forecast, what are they calling for? The potential of. And so when people ask, what are we doing? I say, I will tell them to go back to your school calendar and see where we're at. Early in January, the governor did declare a state of emergency for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Folks seem to take that as these are days that should be excused absences, that we just totally wipe out. That is not the case. We still have an obligation to educate our students. Bottom line. On any declared state of emergency, that just notifies the appropriate, whether it's Department of Transportation, law enforcement, National Guard if need be, to be on call. That does not exclude us from educating our children. I hate that we've missed so much. Our secondary roads, some don't ever see the light of day. Up until late last week, we still had roads we couldn't travel on simply because of it was compacted with ice. And it never froze, unfroze. It stayed froze. The ground was so cold. And I hate that. But I can't control the weather, and I'm sure not going to jeopardize our students. So if anything, I'm too cautious in my decision. But I do ask those that go out and check the roads, I ask their honest opinion. Is it safe? Are there concerns? Where can we go? Where can we not? This last week I've been on roads I've never have been on in Scott County, and I've been on quite a few. If we had school this past, let's say we were in school after this last rain, even thank goodness it was over the weekend, we would have been closed due to high water. And that's kind of what we run into in the spring anymore, seems like. Is excessive amount of rain, thereby our creeks and streams overflow, and it feeds into both the Clinch and the Holston. Most of the time, the Holston behaves itself pretty good. The Clinch is the one that gives us a fit. But this last go-around, Holston got up and out of its banks, and thereby some roads were impassable. And again, as I said, thank goodness it was on the weekend. We'll have missed anything.
No, I think that covers it. If you miss so many days, then what day we're getting out, and then when we start making up spring break.
Yes. And if people would relate to that. And it also makes mention too that within our own policy, if the board so chooses, it's policy ICID, as long as we meet our number of instructional hours as are required by the reading of it, is we make up the first 5, and then after that we could do 2 for 1. Again, at this point in time, our instructional hours is what is most important. As long as we meet those requirements, then we will be good. Does any of the board members have any questions of me?
So that's 7 days we need to make up right now.
Yes, we do too.
I think spring break starts taking spring break on the 9th day, if I remember the calendar right, I believe.
That is correct.
That's hoping we don't miss any more.
I'm hoping to.
You know, while we're on this topic, this is my 3rd term. I think the majority of people knows school board members don't have a whole lot to say about if it's closed or not. So we got Mr. Ferguson, we got Jason Smith, we got the bus garage boss, and 3 or 4 others. They got designated areas that they'll go out in the area in the Scott County. Some of us are working full-time jobs, so we take trust in them, and they observe what's safe, what's not safe. So some people really don't understand that, but we don't have a whole lot to say with that. We trust the people that's out looking. I just like to say that.
And I know the decisions that are made do affect folks, and I apologize for that, but as I made mention earlier, if there's any question in regard, then I'm going to err on the side of safety, first and foremost, always. Am I always correct? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It may be pretty in Gate City, but up on the northern end of the county, Nicholsville, Dungannon area, it may look entirely different, as it will in the western end of the county. There's folks in here can attest to that.
I would much rather err on the side of caution than to have students in harm's way. And I certainly appreciate the effort that everybody who has that job, I appreciate the effort they put forth to check those roads and to report back and make sure that the right decisions are being made.
And
I support that 100%.
I said, are we always right?
No.
Never will be. We try our best. Unless there's anything else, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. I'd like to back up a little bit. I guess it's my bad. I oversee, and Mr. Ferguson brought it up some, but I got a little tore up with the little girls and boys here tonight presenting the stuff. But yeah, we need to remember Mr. Housewright. He's become a little ill there in the last few days. So please pray for him and everything, and him and his family.
Mr. Chairman, before I forget, and it's sit here all evening, over here to my right, to the continuation of school board depreciation. Several of the schools have left each of you some nice gifts, so make sure you don't leave with that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. My understanding, we need to go into closed session.
Yes, I move that we enter into closed meeting to discuss candidates for employment and assignment and performance of personnel as provided in section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia as amended.
I'll second it. So I've got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're going to turn the ball. Thank you.